Zealots, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Something massive is happening in South Africa. Jacinta, we all know Jacinta is one of the leaders of this March of March or Operation Dudula that are going after people saying they need to leave South Africa because South Africa belongs to them. They are taking their jobs. Finally, Jacinta is in hospital because she has been taken to court, and according to reports, Jacinta is calling for help for people to support her.
The situation in South Africa has taken a very serious turn. Ms. Jacinta Zuma and members of the March and March movement are reportedly being taken to court by the South African Human Rights Commission. Now pause, because this case is not reportedly about simply protesting migrants. Members of her movement are facing legal actions over allegations of inhuman treatment against migrants, particularly claims that anti-migrant activists interfere with migrants accessing healthcare services at hospitals. Just imagine that for a second. Hospitals, places where people go when they are sick, places where pregnant women, injured people, and even children may go for treatment. According to reports, the concern is that some migrants may have allegedly been prevented, discouraged, or intimidated from accessing healthcare. And that is where this case becomes very serious, because many of Jacinta's supporters believe the movement is protecting opportunities for South African citizens first. They argue that citizens are frustrated with illegal migration, pressure on public services, and economic hardship. But here is where the debate changes, because there is a difference between protesting immigration policy and allegedly interfering with access to health care. Once hospitals become part of political activism, the question becomes much bigger than immigration. It becomes a human rights issue. Jacinta herself has publicly called on supporters to attend the hearing, which is reportedly expected to take place on June 2nd at the Durban High Court. And this court case could test something very important. Can citizens protest migration frustration without crossing into violation of constitutional and institutional rights? Because if these allegations are proven in court, this could become a major legal and moral turning point in South Africa. Whether someone is documented or undocumented, should ordinary citizens decide who receives health care, or should that responsibility remain with the state institutions? And critics will ask an even harder question. Once citizens begin enforcing immigration frustrations themselves, what happens to the rule of law? This is still a developing story. Stay tuned for more updates. Thank you for watching.
Much too much, guys. And today, I have my concerns that I'm bringing on this platform today. It is between Jacinta and the government. And we all know, Yobana, there are consequences of all these things. Let's not take fully responsibility and take law on our own hands. We all know that these things backfires. We've seen many people that have tried things like this. At the end of the day, most of them, they are in jail or they have one criminal record or the other. A lot of things are just happening to them. So it's not good, it's not advisable. That's something like that.
So what we're dealing with here is a government that is itching for violence. Demands are not met. We'll see.
National TV and threaten violence. Who are you? In a democratic state, express your views, criticize government about its ineptness, quote unquote, in dealing with matters of illegal immigrants. But don't call for violence in our country. We know what violence can do. These people who call for violence, look at what they did in June.
Head on. So, still on that, we have, on the other hand, if Umphakathi has lost hope on the government that is financially stable with billions and billions of money, how can you then put your hope on somebody that is asking you for donations right now? Let's wake up. Let's use our mind when we are dealing with the issues that has to deal with politics and other stuff. Let's all leave the law into the hands of those that are responsible to take care of those issues. Because if you are clapping hands for, rather have knowledge, right knowledge of what you are doing, so that you will know that the choices that you are making, when the consequences of your choices rises, you will be able to speak for yourself. You will be able to answer for yourself. What is the future of the nation when the foreigners are gone? Are we saying we have lost our hope on the government and now we have decided let Utatu Pagelu Ntagati carry on and lead us with the Jacintas and the Mkunus? What is your views? What do you say? Or you didn't think that far? You didn't think of the future of South Africa. You didn't think for our children when we cut ourselves out of other African nations. There's so much that many of us are not knowledgeable of. These things, these political fights, battles, need people with knowledge and history so that you will not lead yourself to your own destruction. If we cut ourselves as South Africans, then other supplies that comes from other African countries, how do we access them? Did you think of that? I doubt. Okay, tell me what are your views considering this much too much. Hashtag Mabahambe Mabavaye.
Guys, the economic bite in every nation is affecting the rights of immigrants. You know, when we see what's happening in South Africa, where one woman, because of heartbreak, Jacinta, because her Nigerian boyfriend left her, she becomes so much heartbroken, and now collaborated with her, like-minded people in South Africa start to harass immigrants, deny them their rights. And people all over the world have seen it as a thing to emulate. Seriously. Look at the Cambodian government today, issuing the same order to all Africans, including citizens of Ghana, Kenya, Cameroon, Uganda, South Africa, and other Africans to leave their country before May 31st. According to, those found in the country after June 1st will face arrest, a 2-year jail term, and an $8,000 fine. But why is this thing going on like this? People are no more seeing the right of immigrants as anything because of economic bite going on today in the world. But one thing in favor of immigrants today is what the South African human rights are doing, actually. Because South African human rights have sued Jacinta and her colleague to court to undermine the rights of immigrants.
Hi, everyone. So, the Human Rights Commission has taken me to court in my personal capacity, taken our lawyer to court, taken March and March to court, and some of our members as well as Operation Dudula. And they have cited us as respondents because they are saying that the police need to arrest us for stopping illegal immigrants in hospitals who are here for all kinds of reasons besides emergency health care.
Because they don't have the right to do that. They are not government in the first place. Okay? And the silence of government during the particular actions of those individuals, that police are looking at people being beaten by thugs, somehow implicate the government as being part of those harassing people. Because your job as a government is to protect the right of everybody. He said that we, the citizens of Western Cape, want Jacinta Ngobeze Zuma to stay away from the Western Cape province, inclusive immigrants that are legal in your country. It's also your right to shake out those that are not legal and send them back. That is your right. But whereby you don't do it, you let non-government, actors to hurt individuals. Then you are complicit in that particular action. That's simple facts. Anyway, guys, it shows one thing. We need to do everything possible to see that our government are wholly responsible and our system is fixed so that we can get our respect in the community of nations. And people will be proud to come back and don't have any reason to leave. Because if you ever give people a chance in Nigeria today, almost the point of Nigeria want to rush out. And where you are running to, it's not even safe. It's worse now out there. We need to do more. We need to do better in this coming election to elect those who will serve the masses, not those who will make themselves king and lords over those that voted into power.
I think that Jacinta knows the law very well, more than any other person. And she thinks that going after people from other places is her right as a citizen to do that. So if you know the law very well, why should you now be caught breaking that same law? Because South Africans claim that the people who are in South Africa are living there illegally, and they go around preaching their laws, asking them, do you know the law of South Africa? Do you know this and that and that? This is not the time for us to be doing this to ourselves. When you, an African, move out of Africa and get to anywhere, they call you a foreigner. And now we are in our own continent and we are still calling ourselves foreigners. So where at all do you, the African, fall? And when you finish, you are the same person who is looking for people to respect you. Wherever you go as a black person, you expect people to welcome you with open arms. But you are still the people who will come back home and be treating your brothers and sisters as if they are not one of you. As Africans, we have to wake up because we have a long way to go. Jacinta is not calling for help. Look at the harassment you were giving to your brothers and sisters. Look at the way some of them were beaten up. Look at how people were putting pressure on their government to come to their aid. As Africans, we need to understand that we need ourselves. Like the man is saying, these are illiterates, because if somebody is literate and knows his or her story, her history, will understand that the people that you are chasing aren't your problem. Ever since these Ghanaians left, the 300 that were taken back home some few days ago, how many jobs have been created? How many of you, those who were on the street doing march on march and saying that the foreigners must go, how many of you went and occupied these places? What you need to fight, you are not fighting it. What is causing you not to have what you are looking for, you are not going after it. Claiming they even have better places that they are renting. If you have the money as a South African and a foreigner is in a place that the person can afford, what is preventing you from going there? So you see that some of the things that these our brothers and sisters are raising, they just don't know. They go by what they hear on TV, on social media, foreigners are doing this, foreigners, and they go after that information without knowing what they are truly looking for. Like Julius Malema will tell you, you don't have economic freedom. That Mandela told you that the struggle continues. How can you tell us that you are the rightful owners of the land, yet over 85% of the land is controlled by the other race, and you are not fighting to get control over it? And that group that is about just 10, 8, 7% says everything and everything stands. And you think that those who only came to South Africa to work are the ones that are making you not to control your land, control your affairs. You don't have economic freedom. And that thing goes to all of us in Africa. Economic freedom, we do not have it. And that is why we are suffering. So when we are suffering, we should be ready to tackle things head on. That is why Julius Malema has been preaching all this while to you about your land reform. And you still don't see the need to channel the energy towards that. What have you achieved? Now you are in hot soup. The same law you claim you are using to chase out foreigners has caught up with you. There was one of her interviews, she even went and claimed that the help that other African countries claimed they were giving to Nelson Mandela, it was for Nelson Mandela and not for them. Like sometimes when you listen to some of the things that she will bring out, you just know that our sister still doesn't have much information. It's just like you having a leader like Cyril Ramaphosa who takes decisions on your behalf. The contrast and everything he signs on the behalf of all South Africans. So for you to think that the help that they were giving to the freedom fighters those days to help you fight against apartheid were only given to them and not you, then you need to wake up. We need to unite. The time is now as Africans. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided before. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, Southern Africa, and in South Africa.